If she had only been ugly, we would still be.
Welcome to Dom Irrera Live at the Laugh Factory, and we have a great comedian, a terrific guy, one of my favorites, Maz Jobrani. Maz, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Happy to be here, Dom.
Hey, is anybody going to turn the air on?
They did put it
it's
on.
Oh.
Did you put it on? Sarah? Who is this?
Oh, boy. Jamie, you got to pay the bills. How's the Chicago club doing?
Why do you immediately have
I
to...
said you got to pay the bills.
How is that an insult?
It's an insult.
He's chatting
Because
with you.
People, millions of people, they're listening to it out there.
Millions.
Well, just say they're doing great.
You said, I didn't pay my bill.
I'm telling you, I tried to do.
Oh,
I wanted to do a
come on.
reality show
Oh.
with
Just
this guy.
talking about people not getting offended.
come on,
Now you're
Jamie.
over
No,
there.
no, I'm getting offended.
Don't make fun of bills.
I think you have a food
Don't
dis-
make
You must
don't
have a
make
food
fun of people.
design.
They don't pay their bill. That's not making fun of them. I'm going to sue you now. You know, in front of
Sue
people.
everybody.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
funny,
Remember that
man.
Jerky Boys thing? I'll sue you then. What did I do? I'm a lawyer. I'll sue everybody. Remember
That's
that?
right.
Hey, Jerky. Yeah, I remember the Jerky Boys.
Hey,
That was
tough
good.
guy.
Hey, tough guy. Sizzle chest.
No, Maz, you crossing the line sometime with me. Now we are both Iranian. You got to be nicer to me. You got to be a little bit of, don't take it, you didn't pay the bill, anything. I have a good job in it. I'm working for him as a sidekick.
As soon as I
I'm
understand
getting
what you're
five-
saying, I'll be nicer to you. I have no idea what you're saying. I am the guy, the nicer. He's the one, the job, and
He's
no
my
joking.
sidekick.
My
Yeah.
son.
You know how you know how he got this gig? He gave it to himself.
He gave it. No, my God,
He
idea.
auditioned?
Oh, excuse me.
You think he
excuse-
auditioned against other co-hosts?
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Dom, I have a new sidekick for you. He's perfect.
No,
Where
I
is
have
he?
to audition.
Right here.
I have to audition for months and months and months. Finally, he said to me, he said, Jamie, all right, you could do it.
Yeah,
I don't know
said
why
that.
there's not a reality show with you, man. We tried. We
They
tried
turn
to.
it-
We tried to do a reality show.
And
I don't know
now,
why.
Jeremy Hott's trying to do one.
Another one with
Yeah.
you? Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Someone's
with
got to do a
Dom,
show
with
with
you, all of the guys. It's Jeremy Hotz. He's writing something. We'll see.
Did you ever do Israel?
No, I've never been. I'd like to go. I've never been. I've never done.
Excuse
Israel
me.
and Palestine. I want to do those two. I mean,
Yeah.
those two areas. There's Ramallah. There's a Palestinian guy who's trying to get me to go to Palestine, and then there's Avi Lieberman, the Jewish guy, who's trying to
Yeah.
get me to go. I'd love to do
Oh,
it.
he
Did you
wants
do
me
it?
to go in December.
Oh, you haven't done it either. I heard it's great.
I heard. I don't want to go in the summer.
Have you done overseas? I mean, you done Ireland, but have you done like Middle East that region at
No,
all?
the only thing I've done is all the English-speaking countries. The English, like Iran. I was going to say Iran.
Iran, of course.
Iran.
Yeah, right there. They're really good.
Bolivia.
Yeah.
No, I did Australia, New Zealand, the Bahamas, Canada, Ireland, England, Scotland,
Have you done Sweden,
France.
Norway, those places?
Copenhagen. I did.
Copenhagen.
Club in Copenhagen.
Did you do a club in France?
Yeah, it was in Paris, an Anglophile club.
How were they?
They were great. I mean, they were mostly Brits,
Oh, okay.
but they were great.
I'd love to do France, but I think you. I mean,
Paris is a beautiful city.
I've never been there, but I've done.
But the people, they sound like they are fruitcake, every one of them.
Oh, is that, he gets insulted over you telling him the bills.
B, all
Oh, that's a
of them.
good. That's a good.
that's
impression.
amazing French.
Yeah,
you should
because
really.
he-
I close my eyes.
You
and I
should go
feel
out
like
for
I'm in
French parts.
Marseille.
B.
You're
But
good. You are good.
I know because Dom, because he had a girlfriend, a girlfriend, he does not in any way or shape, he put down French people. He always liked French people.
I like
but
French
me,
people.
I
Have you ever
think-
been to France?
Yeah, I've been in Paris many times.
You know the microphone's
Many
closer to your ear than your mouth at this point.
All right.
tell you something right now. Hello. Hold on, I got a phone call.
I'm not talking. Go ahead. I'm not saying
He's a
nothing.
mime with props.
That's hilarious.
Okay,
he
all
teaches
right.
comedy class.
Yeah.
Okay, kids. First rule of comedy:
I
put the
don't teach
microphone by
comedy
your
class. Hello. When did I teach comedy
ear. Yeah,
class?
the camp. You know what I'm saying?
The comedy camp, yes. I get some people like Dom and everybody comes in here. They talk about it.
Not everybody.
Now, when you go overseas,
special.
though, you tell me, because my experience overseas has been the audiences are amazing because it's like an event that you're there, like it's like a night out. You know what I'm saying? It's not like a L.A. club where, I mean, the clubs, you know, the L.A. crowds are good too, but they can get entertainment all the time. But over there, it's
They're
like
jaded here.
Yeah.
They don't even realize the shows they're seeing.
Yeah.
How good they are.
Oh yeah.
One after another headliner.
Yeah. No, I did the Middle East and I did the Scandinavian countries, and it was
Oh,
great.
yeah?
They and
Well,
the,
that's a real juxtaposition, huh?
yeah. Well,
Is
you know,
any Iranian there?
yeah. Well, the thing is, Sweden has a very open immigration policy, so a lot of Iranians went to Sweden.
What, the Shah?
No, after a lot of the Iranians from the Shah came here. After that, like the next round of like a lot of immigrants that were more, and it's funny, like the ones that are in Sweden tend to be more like leftist, kind of towards like socialist, communist, like that type.
The ones that are here tend to drive limos.
Buy buildings and put comedy clubs in them. No, like Beverly Hills and stuff. No, really, like a lot of Iranians here are very. It's funny because I always say about Iranians, like the Iranians that you see here, like Iranians in general are very ostentatious. And obviously Los Angeles, a lot of Angelinos are also like that. So you put Iranians in Los Angeles together, and you end up with like bright yellows and mansions with columns on them.
I think it's funny that they call themselves Persians.
Yeah.
Like who cares if you're Iranian?
Yeah.
It's Iranian, whatever how you pronounce it. It's like you're American.
Yeah.
I don't have a thing. It's they came from the enemy. They're not my enemy.
Yeah.
They're government
Well, I
enemy.
think what happened was because I understand. I mean, I actually used to do jokes about that, but I think I also understood a lot of it was a lot of Iranians. I think he has some stories like when like the whole hostage situation happened.
Oh, yeah.
If they found people were like beating up Iranians and like
well, that's like the Japanese were put in camps during World War II.
Yeah.
So ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. It is crazy because and what's even crazier is that the Iranians that came from Iran to America were the ones that were trying to get away from that government, and then that government took the hostages, and then the people here started getting the brunt of it, going like, wait a minute, I'm on your side.
I know. I came here.
Yeah.
What do you think I came here for?
Yeah.
To start an army against you?
Yeah.
Now,
My joke in that is about Persians. I go, there's no Persia. That's like saying to me, so where are your ancestors from? The Roman Empire. Oh yeah, I got an aunt from Mesopotamia, and maybe you know my cousin Tony from Babylonia.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. It's like I said, it's interesting to get that perspective from people, and you could tell when people say it. Like nowadays, it's gotten a little better. Like especially like around the time there was the protest in 2009 against the government, a lot of Iranians were like being shown on CNN every day, and you saw a lot of like young Iranians and like pretty women in protests, and so suddenly a lot of Iranians were coming out saying, I'm Iranian. But back like maybe like 15, 20 years ago, like I remember, I talk about this stuff in my stand-up, but it's true. Like my first experience with any sort of things like that was when I was in the 4th grade, and there was a 6th grader back then who back then it was the popular thing, you'd call people fucking Iranian. That was a thing. So the 6th grader started calling me fucking Iranian for no reason. I was like, what have I done? So he started picking on me, and so that was the first time I experienced that. Then
And he took out his Alibaba
saber.
saber.
Yeah, and I was like, down with you. No,
Down with the infidel.
down with the infidel. And put a fatwa on him, but that's all right. He's
Put a what?
done. A fatwa.
What's that?
The fatwa is the order that they put on Salman Rushdie when he insulted Khomeini, and they ordered a.
Maz, you think you could just slip into here and drop fatwa and nobody's going to question
Well,
it?
you never know. People are listening,
Well, they're gonna be-
podcasting. They're online. They could look up fatwa and.
Now, Maz, I wanted to ask you, do you ever do the improv in the Seminole Hard Rock in
Oh
Fort
yeah,
Lauderdale?
Fort Lauderdale. Yeah.
I just wanted to ask you if you did that because I'm doing it in September.
Oh, great.
Just wanted
Thanks.
to bring it up.
Oh, plug-in. He's making a plug.
No. You know what I'm doing in August? The Paris has the Empire Comedy Club.
That's interesting.
I
That's
just
really
wanted to tell you that I love interviewing you by giving you my
He's going to
itinerary.
work. What's
absolutely.
happening.
I'm going to be at Cobb's in
you?
October.
Are you?
Yeah, but just to let you know,
Oh,
in
that's
case you're
good.
going to be there.
Oh,
By
no.
the way,
Yeah.
I'm leaving, going to Chicago Club tomorrow. Chicago Club, by the way, is 3175 Broadway.
Well,
and you're
that's
more
your-
than welcome to come up there to see
I'm doing it
everybody.
at Jamie's Long Beach Club on the 27th.
Oh, yeah, 27 of
July.
Eastern
Well,
Long
this
Beach Laugh
show might
Factory.
not be out then.
Yes. But, I still plug it. He's going to be having a great
Gonna
show. He
kill?
have 2 shows. He
Are you-
have 8 o'clock show.
Are you
and
on the
10 o'clock.
Twitter? You were talking about Twitter. You're on there now, right? Are you
Yeah.
tweeting?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I do, it's funny you say that because you talk about Cobb's. I was working the Punchline.
Right.
And so Tosh gives me a call, Daniel Tosh from Tosh.0. He gives me a call. He goes, "Can I come up and I want to hang and do a couple guest sets?" I said, "Of course, I'd love to see you." So we go out to dinner before the show, and like I'm like the retarded uncle. He goes, I just started Twitter, and I had like 400 followers. He goes, how could you have 400 followers? All the people that know you. I go, I don't know how to do it. He says, watch this. He links me up with him. By the next day, I had like 10,000.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
No, it's amazing. You know what?
Are you
what?
on it?
Yeah, I'm on. It's funny. At Maz Jobrani.
At Dom Irrera.
Yeah.
At
Laugh Factory.
laughfactory.com.
At home. No, what's funny is I was because it seems that the technology moves really fast.
It's unbelievable.
You know what I'm saying? It was like MySpace. Dane I think had like 1 million guys, and I was like, oh, I should get on this finally. And then by the time
what
I
an
started,
idea that was. How brilliant.
oh yeah, it's crazy. And then it's Facebook, and then Twitter, now Instagram. But it's like, and I'm always hesitant at first because when Twitter came out, I was like, who cares what I'm doing? Like, and I don't want to talk about it. It's like, who cares? But what's interesting? I think I finally figured out like what's entertaining about it. It's almost like, because it's limited characters, it's almost like your wording. It's almost like you're just writing a joke and making an observation, and it's fun. It's become fun for me.
Yeah.
So I've started to do it now, and
People are addicted to it. I mean,
yeah, it's crazy.
I have my goddaughter living with me now. She's 19, and it's like having 24-hour tech support.
Yeah.
It's great having a teenager.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
Because
They are
I'm like
brilliant.
fumbling away. My big fat Goomba thumbs are
Yeah.
hitting 3 keys at once. She's like, they
Oh,
do it
it's
with their
crazy.
thumbs.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah. No.
Yeah,
it's,
but what do you do if somebody use your name? Somebody using my name in Twitter, they say they are Jamie Masada.
I think there's a way you get verified, and then I think you could probably actually, you know what, my cousin
So
actually.
Jerry Seinfeld, somebody was doing his.
Yeah, I'm
using his
sure.
name.
Yeah, my cousin actually had some he's just a businessman in London, and some guy had a beef with him and went and opened up like a LinkedIn account as well as a Facebook account using his name, and started posting like some stuff out there. And my cousin emailed. There's like a way to like email Twitter. And you go, hey, this isn't me, and this person's taking my name, and blah, blah, blah. And I think they're really worried about someone doing that and getting in trouble. You know what I'm saying? So they'll take it down pretty fast.
Oh,
You
I see.
contact them and let
Because
them know.
we tried it one time. Cecily tried it. We
She
didn't-
contacted Twitter?
I think. I'm not sure because she's very what they call social media savvy.
Right.
I'm not as much.
Yeah, you should have her contact and see if there's a way, just like send a letter, or if you have a lawyer, sometimes that helps too. But they should stop the person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So let's talk about that guy Russell Peter beat up.
No, let's let that go. Well, why would you want to bring more? Hasn't this club caused enough pain with the Michael Richards
Oh
incident?
yes, stop!
I know,
stop,
jeez.
stop going with Michael.
Can't we go
Richards.
past that?
Stop.
Can we go
Okay.
past this
Okay,
this
but
hatred?
It's hurtful. The time what he did.
Well, he was out of his mind. Were you here?
No, I was not here. But what's funny is, were you here that night?
I was in Long Island at Governor's, where I will be actually next year.
Yes.
But I'll be doing McGuire's and the brokerage in October.
I was
Funny you should
actually
ask.
I was not in Portland, where I'm going to be in September at the Helium Comedy
Right.
Club.
You were not there.
I was not there, but I'm going to be there this September.
What, September what?
The September, I think 13th to the 15th.
Oh, good time of the year to
yeah,
see in Portland.
Of course, and I wasn't at the Houston Improv either, where I'll be at the end of September.
You'll be there.
Of course, I'm going to be there as well.
Okay.
But-
Let me explain something else. What's
What?
going to be your sidekick? He's
I'm going to be at Jamie's club in October in Chicago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. Don't forget, he's going to be at the Laugh Factory in October. He's going to be at Laugh Factory in Chicago in October.
I asked for a pay cut.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, he is the only comic. Actually, I've never seen that. Only comic. He said, "No, I don't want to get paid that much."
He was that much.
He was just starting the club out. It was
Uh-huh.
just getting on its feet. He paid me too much, so I said next time I come for a cut. That's fair.
Yes, well, you got a nice guy here.
Yeah, but
I don't want to take my money with a ski mask on.
Very rare, very rare. By the way, he's going to come in maybe sometime after he does his Vegas. He have a Vegas gig. He's coming to Laugh Factory in Vegas, in Tropicana, and we have a Laugh Factory in Tropicana. Don't
right.
forget to plug that, ladies and gentlemen.
We're taking over
Also-
one Laugh Factory at a time.
That's
I'm going to
right.
Malaysia this week to do shows. Maybe.
Are you serious?
Yeah, we can start one out in Malaysia. You want
Why
to start
don't
in
you-
Kuala
start.
Lumpur?
Yeah.
Kuala Lumpur Laugh Factory.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, the guys that
Isn't
are
that cool?
bringing me out are coming here. They could come meet with you. I'm not kidding.
Let's do it.
You could open up a Kuala Lumpur.
Actually, let me explain it to you. He called me from
Asians. You're into the Asians.
Yes,
There's a lot of
I'm an
Asians
Asian,
there.
yes.
There are a lot
I
of
love
Asians
that.
in
Good
Malaysia. There's a
Good
lot of
continent.
Asians
Yeah,
in Malaysia.
Sold. I'm sold.
I'm going to set up a
I'm
meeting.
sold.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sold.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, he's doing it. He's doing the Tropicana. He did a Tropicana in the Atlantic City.
Atlantic
sold
City.
out. What?
In Atlantic City, one of
Atlantic
the best
City.
gigs I ever
Yeah.
had.
He sold that. He sold out. All of the shows sold out. The head of entertainment go to him. He said,
The president.
President of entertainment.
The president of Tropicana.
President Tropic. He said, we want to bring you back all the time, this. And we want to do another club in here. We won't mention the name. We want to replace it. And we're going to have me and him.
If all the negotiations go right, to be a Laugh Factory in Atlantic City.
There you go, because of him.
Yes.
You know,
Your
it's funny.
client is bringing you.
A client.
Aren't you his manager?
Yes, but
He's bringing you the gigs.
Excuse
I
me.
get gigs for all these people.
Excuse me.
Are you a
Excuse
super
me.
artist?
No, no.
Oh, 'cause,
Excuse me,
I
I'm
bring them
bringing-
gigs all the time.
Excuse
I
me.
feel bad for them.
And I'm trying to give him commission. He said he doesn't want a commission.
I don't know, Jamie. I don't,
So if you bring me Malaysian and any of the girls
Malaysian.
I get in Malaysia, I take care of you.
yeah. I'm going to set you up
But
with a
you're
meeting.
married, you can't
I'll
do
set you
anything.
up with a meeting with the Malaysian guys. They're here in
Yeah.
a couple weeks.
Let's do it.
Yeah, yeah. I'll set that up. What was I talking about? The
Do you speak in English all the time? Do you ever
Yeah,
speak?
it's all in English because I could, people, because it's funny. Sometimes I was doing a show in Australia and some of the, like, there was, the promoter was this Iranian guy, but he was, promoting to the Iranian community as well as the Australian community. And some of the older people in the Iranian community, I guess, were like, why doesn't he do it in Farsi so we can understand? Is he ashamed of
Yeah.
being Iranian? I was like, you idiots. I was like, the whole point of doing it in English is for other people to find. I was like, Iranians know how great we think we are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And some guy wanted to get on the radio and cuss me out, and I was like, what an idiot. So there's douchebags everywhere. But the Michael Richards thing, what was funny was,
Why you all of the sudden you turn around?
there's something interesting
We're
here.
Let him-
talking about
let
other
it-
Can I just
stuff.
finish
We
this
forgot.
for you?
Let him
just
finish. He's
What was
Oh,
interesting
son
was
of a
This is
bitch.
what was
bullshit.
interesting was actually it's funny with Michael Richards and the Russell thing. I, for whatever reason, with the Russell thing, I ended up getting and the Michael Richards, I ended up getting stories from like 5 or 6 different people that were either involved or somehow there.
Well,
And-
I knew the waitress, Katie. I don't remember, a really
Yeah,
cute
yeah,
girl.
yeah.
She was waiting on the people that I think they're from UCLA.
Okay.
And she says they weren't heckling at all. They were
That's
just
what I heard.
ordering drinks.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
And
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
and then,
I was here. Nobody asked me my story was happened.
But let
I
me
was
tell-
standing
Anyway, go
up-
ahead.
Let me tell you
ahead,
that,
excuse
but
me.
here's what's interesting. So in talking to different people, I've like CSI'd it all. It's amazing. So the
Yeah.
Michael Richards thing, it was interesting. So obviously the incident was the incident, but I had actually been at the Comedy Store earlier that night where he'd come and I think done a set.
It's a great club, the Comedy Store.
Great
Right down,
club.
40th anniversary.
And he'd done a set, and then he'd come here to do this the racist set. And but what was interesting was I was talking to Jeff Cesario, who was writing for the Spike Ferriston show at the time.
Almost name dropper.
Almost name dropper, yes.
That's it. Big star.
Yes, he's Chef Cesario Pizzas. But he was writing for the Spike Ferriston show, and he was saying how I guess Spike Ferriston was a writer for Seinfeld, and he had on his had a talk show on Fox, and he had on his show the Jason Alexander, Seinfeld had come by, Louis Dreyfus had come by, and I guess Michael Richards had not come by. So he'd put all their pictures on his studio, and he'd X'd out all of them except for Michael Richards, who hadn't come by. So it was an ongoing joke, like Michael Richards won't come. So I guess that night, what happens is Cesario told me that Richards does this thing where he decides, okay, I'll make an appearance. While you're doing your show, I'll just walk out in the middle of it. I'll go over to the picture, I'll exit out, and then I'll be like, satisfied, and he'll be like, yeah, and he'll leave. So they do that, and then Richards, I guess they'd given him a driver to drive him, to the show and back. So Gene Pompa was telling me that Gene Pompa, when he went to do this, total CSI, when Gene Pompa went to do the Ferguson show, he got the driver who had Michael Richards that night. So the driver was telling Gene Pompa the story, and he goes, what was funny was, he goes,
Who was doing Ferguson?
Gene Pompa was doing Ferguson.
Oh, got
No.
Ferguson?
Yeah, he did Ferguson. Yeah.
kidding.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So he's like, no. Anyway, so what was interesting? So the driver had told Gene Pompa that when Richards got in the car with the driver, he turned to the driver. He said, "See," he's like, I was just in front of a live audience. He goes, "That's what I love. I want to be in front of a live audience.
Oh, boy, he got
That's
his
what I
wish."
love." And that same night, he comes here in front of a live audience.
Wow.
Now, well, it's very interesting what you said. Because
Thank you, Jamie.
No,
Thank you.
I want to say, Gene Pompa, what he said, Michael Richard, the way I understand, I've been with him a long time, we go different places. He never
go
take
different
any.
places?
No, but he goes to different shows. We went together, whatever. He never ever take any lemon drive or car drive. He always want to drive his own car.
Well, that night he had a driver, I guess, because the Gene Pompa said that he got the same
Gene
driver.
Gene
Pompa
Pompa
could
does not lie.
Gene Pompa
He
could
may do a lot of
exaggerate.
things.
No.
He could exaggerate.
You were a
He could
pathological
exaggerate.
liar.
But maybe that was what convinced Michael Richards to go do the Spike Ferguson thing, where he was like, "Oh, they're gonna send me a limo."
No, he doesn't.
Michael
He
had
doesn't
done-
like limo.
You're
Mike-
trying to put holes
No.
in my CSI
No, I'm not.
investigation.
He's
I
the
know the
guest.
story.
He's the guest. Why are you attacking the
I'm
guest?
not attacking the guest. I'm correcting the
He's trying to
guest.
defend Michael Richards. You like racist. That's what we're saying right now.
No.
Ladies and gentlemen,
no.
Jamie Masada has come out saying that
No.
he likes
He's a racist
racists and he
lover.
hates black people.
No,
right
shut-
there. That
no,
was
I'm
it.
not.
That's what I got.
That's the conclusion.
You're right.
there, Dom Irrera. Next subject.
Oh my God.
Well, you know what was weird that week? 2 weeks, the week before I went to Governor's, where I killed, by the way, nothing to do with anything.
Where you'll be.
I'll be probably in March.
Isn't that near Caroline's where I'll be in November
No,
in New
it's
York?
not. But I love knowing that.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to be in Caroline's.
November. No, October. I'm at McGuire's and the
All right,
brokerage.
all right. These
Anyway,
are all,
I digress.
It's
But
going
he
to be
said-
digress. It's
listen,
gonna
But
be
on
all-
Twitter, you're at Dom Irrera.
Right you're at Maz
At
Jobrani.
Maz Jobrani, yeah.
He said we were doing a radio show, right? And Michael was very weird, obviously.
Yeah.
He never said my name. I did Seinfeld. I was always at the set because I was working with Damon at the stage right near there. And one day, I'm at the Comedy Store. He goes, "Dom." I said, "Yeah, Michael." He says, "I didn't even know he knew my name." He goes, "Are you Italian?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "You're from Philly, huh?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, I'm from Jersey. I'm Italian." I said, "I know you were Italian. I thought you were Jewish." He goes, "No, I'm Italian." Right? Okay, so no, unsolicited. The next night, he's walking up the steps being interviewed by somebody, and he's talking about being Jewish.
Hilarious.
And I said, "Michael, I thought you were Italian." He goes, "Well, my mother's Jewish." I said, "Well, in Judaism, if your mother's Jewish, you're Jewish. So what are you?"
Yeah. Yeah.
And he went off on Jews the same way he went off on blacks at the Improv a month before he went crazy here.
Oh, my God.
But because he was Jewish, it
was all right.
It didn't seem as bad.
That is funny.
I think he's again. That's my opinion. I think he's Greek Orthodox.
Oh,
Wow, he's got a
no.
lot going on.
No,
he might be
seriously.
Persian.
No, he's Greek. The way
I think he's
understood-
Persian, and he likes to heckle Russell Peters. That's what I've heard.
That's right.
I think that was him that night.
In disguise.
In disguise. You know what's crazy is we all know this. Like a lot of comedians, here's the problem with a lot of having any kind of fame is that people see you as a character, and they love that character. And then when they see you in person, like I've never met Robert De Niro, but I hear that in a lot of interviews and stuff, they say he's very
soft-spoken.
shy, soft-spoken, and everyone's like, "Hey, it's De Niro. This is the guy. You're talking to me," and he's probably like, "No, I'm not talking to
I
you."
interviewed De Niro for one of those movies, analyzed that, him and Billy Crystal. And he was very reserved, and Billy was kind of sticking up for him. But I read a script with him last year, and he was much more relaxed and much
Right.
more fun in his own environment.
Yeah.
I think, you build up certain walls when you're that famous, and they do
Absolutely.
expect you to. Have you had people say to you, "You're nothing like you are on stage"?
Oh, yeah, yeah,
I said, well, if I was like I am on stage, I'd get punched in the mouth.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I'd be an asshole.
Yeah.
I'm-
I hate it when people go like, "Hey, do say something funny."
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
tend to I tend to try tickling them at that point. I really do. I like reach over and tickle them.
That's always good. That's very disarming.
They're like that's not funny. I go, well, you're just not laughing. I mean, I thought it was funny.
I had a girl say to me one time, I was waiting for winners in ping pong.
Yeah.
She goes, "Everybody tells me you're so funny. You don't seem that funny." I go, "I'm waiting for winners in ping pong."
Give me a
What do
break,
you want me
lady.
to do?
Wait till we're having sex later on.
Then I'll be funny.
That'll be funny.
Yeah, but you guys, the scary thing about both of you is because you're on the stage and off the stage, you're the same person, the same voice, the same everything is. But a lot of people, the time they get on You make it look easy. You make it very
Well, we
relaxed.
might be the same personality, but we certainly wouldn't say things like we say on stage.
Yeah, but
Right.
the same personality, the same voice. The
Well,
same,
we don't get into the hokey characters.
Yeah, hokey
Right.
character. But the
I
problem
was in
is,
Africa recently.
like Michael Richard, the time he's on the stage, he's a different character. Off the stage, his voice even changes.
Well, I think part of that too. I think the problem for him was that he became so huge
Yeah.
as that
couldn't
lovable
compete with
character. Yeah,
Kramer.
Kramer. And then I remember him coming back, and I don't think he ever came from like he was never like a strong comedian, like
Never.
comedic writer.
He was a more of a mime type comedian.
Yeah, that's what he-
physical
yeah,
comedian.
that's what he did.
falling down.
Yeah.
I remember him lifting weights and all
Yeah.
this stuff. And
Yeah.
when he really created that character. It
Yeah.
made it bigger and bigger. When Larry David cast him in that, you remember the character just used to open the door and shut it.
Yeah.
And then it was that whole
Yeah.
physicality thing.
Yeah.
You know.
So that's got its own thing, but like it's not like let's say like Chappelle had his whole controversy, but then he comes back. He's a strong comic, so he can, even if somebody says something to him,
Yeah.
he's able to handle it.
Yeah, Michael's an actor who acts like a comic.
Yeah, and people expect it's amazing. I remember starting out almost without fail. Every time somebody would be introduced that was famous, I remember seeing the audience just get so happy, and then quickly be disappointed.
Right, they expect them to be shot out of a cannon.
Yeah.
Like a different level of comedy. And
Yeah.
well, they don't understand that, like, especially like when we work these like clubs like this where you're doing 20 minutes instead of an hour.
Yeah.
You really can pretty much follow anybody.
Yeah.
And people don't understand. They think like the more famous they are, the funnier they're going to be.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And that's not necessarily.
And that's the other thing is if somebody's seen you in anything, whether it's like on YouTube or in a movie or something where like obviously the first time you see someone or something with comedy, you laugh so hard and you're so excited about it. So I think when they see you again, it's almost like they've set themselves up for disappointment.
Right.
Because unless if you just kill and the people are falling out of their chairs, they're going to be like, it wasn't as good as that thing that I saw. That, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The same thing will happen with Steve Martin. Steve Martin, I always thought he was such a wonderful, I still think he's wonderful. He's a great actor. He's all of that stuff. But off the stage, the time he's not on, he's very shy. And you said hello to him. I worked with him in the Twilight Theater. It was a show we did 4 episodes for NBC. I was one of the cast in it. And I saw, oh my God, Steve Martin, this. And then I went to his trailer. And I said, oh my God, he's going to say something funny, this. And he was so
sullen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing. I never seen something like that.
He was like that with me when I had an interview show for Comedy Central at the Comedy Awards.
Yeah.
And it was just like so boring. And those other guys, those old school guys, Jerry Lewis.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm in.
Yeah.
They're all clowning around.
Yeah.
And he was like,
Well, it's comics. I think I love like running into comics that you start talking to that you can actually have a conversation with, like
Yeah.
that doesn't it's a regular conversation
Yeah.
about anything. You know what I'm saying?
oh, I hate the guys that have to be on all the time.
Yeah.
And you go to the deli with them, and they're always they're doing an improv with the sugar.
Yeah.
The sugar's talking to the pepper,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
pathetic.
Yeah, or there's the guys that sometimes it's weird because there's a lot of I think there's didn't you have a psychiatrist here for a while?
Yeah,
or
he
something?
still does.
We still
Okay,
have it.
there's definitely like somebody could do a major like book about psychoanalyzing comics because it's like obviously there's a lot of problems. I think some guys you have
What's that supposed to mean?
I'm not pointing
that's
I'm not pointing
bullshit.
fingers. No, but it's like I think a lot of guys. It's I have a tough time like beyond like hey how's it going
Oh, yeah.
what's going on with the auditioning great and then
Never
it's like
real
now we're
connection,
stuck
yeah, like real people.
yeah it's kind of weird sometimes
Well,
But
that-
by the way, you plug in is a show, HBO, they doing a show about Brody Stephen.
yeah
And it's a show, it is about the psychology behind this comedian and everything. Is a great show for everybody to watch if you get a chance.
Thank you, Jamie.
I'm going to try and watch it
it's-
when I'm at Caroline's in mid-November
Yes,
and
it's a-
You'll
Broadway
have
in
time
New York.
because it take them a while to fill the house because the lines for tickets will go around the block.
Yeah, those tend to sell out really fast. So I would, people
I would
should
get
their
tickets
tickets
now,
fast.
yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting.
No, he's right. I mean, I know.
Okay.
When I'm playing the Sir Laugh-A-Lots. I love some of those names. Talk about embarrassing.
That's hilarious.
I'll be at Slappy Bananas next week.
Oh
you
my
know
God.
what's at some point I started doing merchant. Do you do merchandise at your shows?
Nah.
Like, no,
I can't.
I always, it's at some point I started, and it's like it became this thing where I was like, why? It is a weird feeling at the end of your show, because I also you talk to the audience, so a lot of times I just throw it out to the guys that I've talked to as kind of like a thank you.
Yeah.
But it is kind of I kind of hope for the day when I stop doing that.
I tried, and then I just gave them away and stopped doing it.
Yeah, yeah.
Now I got a house full of DVDs. You want to buy one? Half price.
Price.
How many you have?
I don't know, hundreds of them.
So maybe I can sell them in here.
Yeah, who's
The
taking-
night-
He'll take it.
then-
He'll take
then-
more money from you.
Yeah, but the night the people that come in here, they always say the Dom have a DVD. We should now. The good thing to do. This new management we have there might be they can
You know, the
get
first
it.
time when it came, it was I'd done Friday After Next. So, and it's interesting. This movie did well in the urban community. So I got recognized by a lot of like Latino, black young guys. You know, all that. That was like, and so Jeff Garcia, who would do these shows like in East LA. You know,
Jeff
big.
Garcia, the guy who does voiceovers?
Yeah, Jeff. You know the.
I know
yeah.
Jeff. I was in, what was it, the cartoon with him.
Yeah. Like, was it Jimmy Neutron? No,
No, it wasn't Jimmy Neutron. It was Barnyard.
Okay,
Back
but
at
he
the
does
Barnyard.
stand up.
was-
You know he does stand up,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. So he was very entrepreneurial with those things, and it's funny. Like he would produce his own CDs, and I was doing some bar in Rosemead or something, and afterwards some guy came up. He's like, "Hey, can I get can I buy a CD?" And I was like, "I don't have one." And Jeff was like, "You don't have one?" I go, "No." He's like, "You're in a movie. You gotta have one." I was like, "I don't think I'm ready for it." He's like, "I got the equipment." So he brought the equipment. He recorded my first CD.
That was
And
nice.
It was crazy because it was funny. What was funny though was I was like, "Is this real? Like people are gonna buy this?" So the next time I had a gig in like East LA or wherever it was, I was like, before I had the CD done, he's like, "Do you have headshots?" I go, "Yeah." He's like, "Bring some of those. People will buy them." I'm like, "People aren't gonna buy. They're gonna buy them." So I brought a few just to see, and people were buying headshots, and it was amazing. Like people want you to sign stuff.
You sold headshots?
I saw it was weird. That was the only time but it was.
What a pander.
I know.
Really?
Hey, I got 2 kids and a nanny, and the nanny's getting rich, so that's my nanny money. But no, I really do.
You making that much money to pay the nanny?
No, it's not that
What do you
much.
make,
The nanny
Maz?
makes a lot more.
What do you make?
With the DVDs and stuff,
Couple of million?
a couple million a year. A couple million.
I was with my nephews at the
I'm
Sands.
kidding, IRS. Go
I
on.
was with my nephews at the Sands
Yeah.
in Atlantic City before they blew it up. And these kids, they were nice kids. They were like 13. We're walking around. They wanted to see the place. They go, "Uncle Dom, how much you make for this?" I said, "How much you think?" They said, "I don't know, a couple million." Right? I said, "Well, first of all, I got to tell you, it's 900 seats. So that would be, if it's sold out, it's 1,800 seats. Give it 100 comps on each show. That's 1,700. So I would have to sell my tickets for about $45,000-$50,000 a ticket to make a couple million. You got the Dom Irrera ticket? Well, yeah, there's only the $50,000
it's
orchestra seats available.
It's Dom Irrera and Barack Obama tonight. It's a fundraiser.
Well, that's what I wanted to tell you.
What's the high? That's something very interesting for me to find out. Any comedian, what's the highest anybody paid for comedian? I think Steve Martin was the highest paid.
What do you mean
Oh.
for tickets per ticket?
Per ticket.
Well, there's a couple things. Well, I guess
What that happens is, like, the tickets on my show Saturday went up to like over $200 because there were only a few seats left. So they jacked it up on the people, and these are high rollers. These people don't. They're losing $500,000. They couldn't care less about that money.
Well, Dane was telling me one time, he was talking about when he was doing these arenas and stuff, he was saying that he he obviously you layer it like gold round, silver level, blah, blah. And he said the gold always goes first because there's some baller who's like, I'm going to buy the best tickets and, make it a night and impress my wife or girlfriend or whatever it is,
Yeah, but it was interesting because at the time Dane was doing the Fleet Center in Boston. What's the name? It is.
Yeah, the Fleet Center. Yeah,
Fleet
where
Center.
where the Celtics play.
Yeah, he was playing there, and he was selling the seats, and people bought a lot of seats. The time all of them was sold out, they were selling the ticket on the eBay for $7,500 to $10,000. The ticket they bought.
Well, that's what what Louis C.K. recently did with selling his own tickets. he's got something down where it's like I guess
It's amazing. He's ruining it for a lot of those show business guys.
Oh, yeah.
that suck off of us.
oh yeah, he's
The
totally
barnacles.
redefining it. It's awesome.
So I
But-
think it's wonderful. I think it's great to be able to do that.
He's taking the
Because-
power away from.
Yeah, but
a
they're
lot of
taking
people.
Yeah.
power away from the few
I mean, I'm not
network.
saying it's bad, it's
no,
smart.
No, I think it's a bad time.
But he's got
because-
something in there that says like if people try to resell the tickets, like their tickets are canceled. I don't know how they figure out. If
No,
you
you
resell
can't
it.
cancel it. I try to do that several times. I try to do. People they buy the ticket for the Laugh Factory, they scalp it outside. But I can't say, you say, but you don't know what number it is, where it is,
Right.
what's happening. You can discriminate against some people. The people they come in and say, "Where did you buy it? We bought it." Who cares? But these people paid the money. You can't say, "Well, it's no good," and you cannot. It's not fair to customer they paid for it. That's
Right.
all I'm saying. It's not fair to them. That's one thing I can't do it. I wouldn't. But Louis C.K. said it's very interesting what he's doing. Can you imagine some of the network that they made a CD from every comedian? They give them $10,000 to do CD and give them percentages of they might have make $18,000 altogether, and the rest of the network making millions of dollars. And
because
this
like all of our HBO specials you were asking about, Rodney, they're all buyouts.
Right. Yeah, of course.
So we got
yeah.
no residuals at all on them.
Yeah.
So
Well,
they owned my HBO special.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but there's also there's something.
But they're giving you a break.
Yeah, exactly. You got to weigh that. Like for example, like right now, I'm trying to, I just filmed something myself, and I could put it out and try and sell it the way Louis did, but then I'd just be counting on my fans to buy it. Whereas I personally feel like if I got it on Comedy
Big
Central or something,
distributor, yeah.
it could help expose me to an audience that doesn't know me. But Louis is at a point right now where his fan base is so big that he could just do that and sell 100,000 copies.
Yeah, but I think the same time, every comedian there are entrepreneurial. You could do stuff that nobody can do, and I think you could do a wonderful job. Be able to do it. You got to build like Dane Cook. Didn't depend on Comedy Central. Didn't depend on anything.
Well, no, actually, he talks about
He did a Comedy Central special.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he did
but
a
also-
comedy
but no, he
special,
actually
but
tells-
he kept the DVD right for himself. Then
Right, but he talks about I heard I think he did an interview with Rogan or something, and I remember him talking about he was on some Comedy Central like young comedians or something, and he said like the next day he like started seeing his numbers go up. Same thing happened with us with Access to Evil Comedy Tour. If we didn't get that on Comedy Central, I don't think we would have been able to tour the other places we got to go. And YouTube. YouTube was coming up right when we were. It's a fine line.
Yeah, but it's a fine line. You could go to somebody's show, do your act, 5 minutes of your act, 10 minutes of your act. That's a different animal. But to be able to go to give your whole CD to somebody,
Right.
and they make the money, and you work all of your life to put this CD together, and they make millions of dollars, you make $18,000. I don't think it's fairness in it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I don't care. And you see a lot of people, they are for that. Let's go do that. Let's go do. I seen a lot of manager and agent. They get kickback from all of
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
They get all of the kickback.
It is actually interesting because I've done two now. I did the Acts of Evil, and then I did my own, which was Brown and Friendly. And it's funny because I'm not like you almost got to be an accountant to understand what's going on, because your lawyers will tell you you're getting this, you're getting that, blah blah blah. But obviously the production company is padding stuff because they're not doing it just in hopes that you're gonna sell $1 million and everyone's gonna make money. So right out the gate they've made something.
Yeah, there was that one guy, I forget his name. Well, it doesn't matter. I shouldn't say it anyway.
Yeah.
But he was a real ripoff.
Yeah.
He'd give you like a certain amount up front, and that was it.
I think I know. Yeah. I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's crazy. It is. It can, yeah, and it's
David somebody.
Well, don't say the name. You can get sued.
Okay, well, I didn't say the last name.
What's wrong with you?
Michael Richards.
I'm
Okay.
trying to protect the show.
Okay.
And you,
No,
I
but
know the name. No kidding. We all know the
I
name.
know, but I get hurt. People, they take advantage of somebody' livelihood. He work his life to do something, and all of a sudden, somebody else take a fruit of his tree and he rip him off for nothing.
Fruit of his tree.
Yeah, that's what I say.
yeah.
In
The fruit of your loin.
Middle Eastern
Your loin.
impression.
They take fruit off of his plant and they go and they
They
sell
eat
it
it.
at the bazaar, and then they make profits.
And he's
and,
Maz Jobrani, and he have to go sell.
and it's not even organic fruit that you could buy at Whole Foods. Do you understand? Are you following what I'm saying?
Yes, I am.
And
I love
can you
that
imagine-
Maz Jobrani does a song for me if he brings me up.
Yeah, yeah. No, I love that at the Comedy Store, which is this club down the street.
He doesn't care.
I don't care.
No,
I
it's
love
great.
Mitzi.
No,
I love
no.
Mitzi.
Jeff Scott actually plays the piano, and it's so much fun to you just sing. Whatever. I just sing the whatever.
It always makes me laugh.
Whatever. Yeah. No,
There's
it's
a
fun.
guy who's willing to pass the baton, take the baton, and it's like. Because I love when we're having fun and not in competition.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know some of the intros I give, and I only do that to people I like.
Yeah.
Just goofing around. But I love when they're not going like, he, yay, oh, who's the funniest?
Yeah. That doesn't make sense.
We're all so
either.
different. I mean.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I've heard of that. Yeah. You do hear. It is funny because comedians can be competitive too. And you hear comics going like, I'm going to go up before him. I'm going to destroy.
Yeah.
He's going to eat shit. You're like... Why are you even focusing on him? You know what I'm saying? Like, focus on your stuff.
Why does his success diminish you?
Yeah.
Well, you know what's interesting about, when we started talking about the Middle East and all this, I think comedians are one of the most integrated professions I've ever seen.
That's true.
We don't really, we really are, a lot of us, friends from all over the place. I mean, we... whether it's, I remember a group of black comedians we were laughing about just one issue, and it's really fun to talk to people about their own culture, and their own race, and get an honest answer.
Yeah.
Not have to worry about being politically correct. That's what I love about comedians.
Well,
go ahead.
I think that the guys who become comedians, like I always say, like people ask me like, when did you decide? I was always a fan of comedy, so I love to laugh. I had friends that were funnier than me that I loved hanging out with. And part of it is, some of his racist stuff is breaking each other's balls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think it just carries right into this. Like you're not, if there's a comedian who's sensitive, like if you say something and the guy's like, oh, you shouldn't, it's kind of weird. It's almost an oxymoron to see. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, like when we're up here, like our little club, Jamie has a club for us upstairs where we drink wine and stuff. And we're all sitting up there, I guess Dane and Tosh and you and a couple, we're all sitting up there, and you probably don't even remember this night, but Jeremy Hotz comes, and I said, "Hi, Jeremy, how you doing?" He goes, "Oh, Dom, my sinuses are killing me." And I said, "Jeremy, this is fucking 8 comedians. Nobody gives a fuck about your sinuses."
That's funny.
He says, "You're right." So he went over in the corner and drank his beer alone. Really, I wouldn't bring it up.
Yeah.
Like just the compassion comedians. Well, probably post-nasal drip. It could be the allergies.
Let's do a massage circle. Let's get rid of the sinus.
But the same token, one thing I told him about that you don't know, comedian is the rarest professional in the world. In the world, we have how many? We have 7 billion people. You know how many good comedian in the world? 70. Really good.
Well,
I heard
States,
you. But no, I heard you talk about like you were talking to somebody about like Major League Baseball. There's like 700 baseball players, right?
Yeah.
Right. You were talking about exactly that. He was just saying the same.
It's, and it's people. This professional is such a wonderful professional. That's the reason I always go to any radio station, anything I talk about comedian. I said, please do not say comedian to me. He said, well, I'm trying to joke around with it. I said, you got to call them from now on doctor of the soul. Because you guys coming in here, honest to God, I seen you.
Imagine
I
us
see
going
Dom.
up, call ourselves doctors.
No,
This
no.
next doctor of the soul.
No,
Doctor of the soul.
No, but the thing is, honest to God, but you don't see that.
But you know what it is? Here, I mean, you know this. It's like, I mean, once you choose anything in life, and this is what we've chosen, it's like you can't not go on stage. You love going on stage. You get better and better and better, and you get really good, and you start seeing the world in a specific way. So, for example, like architects see the world, they think in a specific way, and so we see the world in a specific way, right? So it's kind of like what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's like you become part of that fraternity, and that's just how you think. And you never sit there and think to yourself like when you hear the audience laughing, you're not. I don't think comedians sit there and go, "Oh wow, I just brightened up these people's day." You know what I'm saying? You don't think that. You're just like, "Oh, I'm killing." It's like they brightened up my I'm an animal. Like I'm so great. You know?
Maz, but another side of it, I seen another side of it. I saw Rodney Dangerfield came from brain operation. He have Band-Aid on his head in UCLA.
One Band-Aid they give him
No,
afterwards. It's
no,
what they
he
do
have
in
a-
UCLA.
what they gonna-
They go, oh, you had brain
No, wait,
operation. Here's a Band-Aid. See you later. Yeah, I saw that.
He have this whole what they call it, the
Bandage.
Turban.
gauze,
Turban.
and he have on his head.
The doctor was Arab, and he said,
All right, finish. Are you don't want to
take my turban.
Okay, all right. I saw him that
He rode
morning.
in on
I
a
saw
camel,
him,
and it was amazing.
I saw him in UCLA. He was coming out. He said, "I'm going to try to come out tonight." I said, "Tonight where?" He said, "Nothing." And then he goes home that day at 4:00 in the afternoon. Jamie, what? I'm coming over tonight.
I'm coming over tonight, Jamie.
I saw you today in the hospital.
You're all right.
What you doing? Don't worry about it. Joni's going to try. I can't do his accent. And about
accent.
8:15 at night, Joan drove him in here. Joan, his wife, drive him in. She's a wonderful girl. She brought him in here. I picked him
Get
up
to the
from the door. I brought him to the stage. He was white as my shirt. And he went on the stage. He held the mic, and he was shaking the time he got in here because it was very weak. And as soon as he said first joke, second joke, I saw a miracle happen. The color start coming in his face. His lips start getting red. His color came to his face. And
then he had a heart attack. But that's not the point.
His
No.
pants popped off, and he had a big fucking heart on. And he just
and the
started
turban fell off.
And then the time he was leaving, I'm sitting here. I'm trying to help him get him off the stage. He's telling me get away from him because he got energy from laughter. He got what he wants. Some of the comedian, maybe you don't feel it, but some of the comedian like Richard Pryor,
Of course.
like those people,
No, you're
they
live on
enjoy.
stage. Yeah,
they
yeah.
enjoy making people
He's
laugh.
like, maybe not you. You don't
But
enjoy
maybe
it.
because you said I don't feel. You said I don't
you don't
feel
seem
it.
to have fun up there.
You said
I
I don't feel it.
No, I'm saying that we don't sit there and look at the audience and go, "Oh wow, I'm bringing brightness to their day." I mean, I'm just saying the
They
perspective.
probably
that's all.
had a rough week.
They had a rough week. And
But you do something.
of course, you're live on the stage.
Yeah, you're
of
live on the
course.
stage. You
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
something miracle happened.
Maz,
to you.
I know this is inevitable, but I just wanted to ask you about the Ayatollah.
Yes, of course. I'm happy you would bring that topic up.
Yeah, there's one difference in cultures, though.
Yeah.
Remember when he died and they threw him all around?
Yeah, yeah,
Can you
yeah.
imagine if, like, George Bush died?
But he's a jolly good
outside,
fella.
spinning him around. Woo!
Did they do that to Ayatollah?
No, his casket was going. They were all trying to like touch it. It is
I
pretty crazy. It's,
I thought they threw him around without the casket. I think they did. I think they did.
it was
like
like
a
it
little
was like a
clown?
way, it was like a concert. He's
he was moshing.
They
He
were
was mozzing.
throwing him up, or-
No, they were taking the. I think he was in a casket and they were taking him. And I think people were like trying to touch it.
I'm pretty
It's
sure
like-
they threw his body
I don't know.
around.
I got to go look it up now.
Look
People
it
that
up.
are watching this, you should YouTube it. Ayatollah body surfing dead.
Oh, I love to watch that. We got to watch.
We
that.
all just got a fatwa on our heads. Good going, Dom Irrera.
No, but I mean, it's something. Something like that. Is taking the body. I never saw that.
Well, no, it's interesting you say that because I was just thinking about this. There's obviously some parts of religion celebrate mourning. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
It's whether it's like
Like an Irish wake?
the Irish wake, or like again, like there's a day in the Shiite religion where like one of the prophets had died, so they go out and like they hit themselves and like cry and
He didn't prophesize his own death. That's the only problem. He'd have
Yeah.
been closer to a hospital.
yeah. No, but it's funny. So it's interesting because it's like I was just thinking about this the other day. I forget what it was. It was like I think it was 4th of July, and people were drinking and partying, and I was like, it is a cultural. It's a religion. Obviously, a lot of times will go the other route, and it's a cultural thing because I guess you could party and do both. But I was just thinking about that. I was thinking about what you just said, which is like the mourning and how it can be. It's supposed to be like a holiday, but they're not drinking.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's kind of a weird concept. You're
It-
like,
yeah.
it's a holiday. Why aren't you drink? Why are you crying? It's a holiday. You should be lighting firecrackers. And they're hitting themselves.
Isn't in Iran right now, if you drink, you're going to be what they're going to
Well, alcohol is illegal, but there's a lot of, basically the government turns a blind eye to it because a lot of people, first of all, a lot of people make their own moonshine. Like they make like the alcohol, like if you go to people's houses, it's like drinking rubbing alcohol. It's ridiculous. And then there's also a black market. The last time I was there was like 14, 15 years ago. And it's like the Armenians run the black market. And it's interesting. Like this guy showed up. My dad was buying liquor for us. and this guy showed. He was so paranoid. He had this black, like big black, like Glad garbage bag, and he was looking around. He was freaking out, and I was standing behind my dad. I'm like, what are we buying? Like heroin? What are we getting? And the guy like reached into this bag. He's like, I've got Heineken, you know. And he's like,
Really?
I was like,
You're kidding me.
He was freaking.
Now, what about porn? I wouldn't know what to do at a hotel without porn. What do you read or?
Well, yeah.
But I think
What do you do? Bathe?
no, but in the internet they can control that. They can.
Well, no,
watch
in the
porn.
Middle East, I can tell you right now because I've been in some countries in the Middle East where you cannot, like in UAE, like where Dubai and like Saudi Arabia and those places, you can't get porn. You know,
Why?
not that I was trying, but
YouTube, you can go to YouTube.
no, you can't. It says this is this site is blocked. They have ways of blocking it. But Iran actually, there's a big your alarm's going off. There's a
Very
big
professional.
there's a lot of young people. There's a big portion of the population in Iran is like under 30 or something, like a big group of that, and I've heard of, I haven't gone to any, but they were saying like there's a lot of like closed door parties. So these girls have to kind of like cover their hair up. They don't walk around with like the full face covered, but they're kind of like in jeans, kind of looking hip, but they have they'll have a coat and they'll have like their hair just covered like this. And then when they go to these parties, like they'll take everything off and it's like real tight dresses and stuff. And I heard like they were doing back 15, 20 years ago, I don't know if they're still, I'm sure they're still doing it. They had like ecstasy parties. Because the problem is, if you think about it, in America, you can go on a date, go to a coffee shop, sit down, get to know the girl, go to a bar, whatever.
Yeah.
But in some of these countries, Saudi Arabia is another one of these, you're not supposed to be in public with a girl that's not your wife or your sister or your mom. So people probably won't bother you, but there are like the morality police that could stop you and bother you. And so a lot of these guys, all they can do is like they have one shot. So they go to the party and they'll know they like each other, the guy and the girl, and like they'll have trays of ecstasy, pass it around, get it on right there, and then go
In
home.
the party.
At the party, it's like
Can
an orgy.
you watch it?
You can go check it out. Go check it out.
Serious?
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm old. That sounds very futuristic to
Yeah.
me, like 1984.
Yeah.
Oh my God! You meaning like do orgy or something?
Yeah, I gotta go pick up my
orgy.
kids soon, guys.
All right,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
we're good.
All right, Mr. Orgy. But as soon as we start
Maz.
talking about the orgy, he said he got to go pick up
Oh, look,
his
see,
kid.
somebody tweeted that I'm going to be at the Houston Improv. See, look at that.
Yes.
Look at that.
Yes.
In September.
All right.
At the Houston Improv.
All right.
After
Wow.
I'm in the
How'd you get
Portland
that?
Helium, at the Helium Club in Portland.
Who booked you there?
My managers.
Listen, Maz, you were great, man. It was
No,
great
that's
to
fun.
see
I
you.
had a good time. I'm sorry I have to leave. If these
Yeah,
kids,
as soon
no.
as we start talking
He's
about
4.
porn and orgies, he got to go.
Oh, what, yeah, I mean that's you know.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they flipped through the Ayatollah around.
Yeah, I gotta
without
go
the
look that up.
casket.
I gotta go
I'm
look
pretty
that
sure.
up.
Yeah, that's the way I remember it.
That sounds pretty interesting.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
I'm
you
happy you
very
took
much.
the
Maz
jacket off.
Jobrani.
Love you, man.
Maz Jobrani. One
See
of
you
the
next week
Iranian.
with a funny comedian. Come on, I'm kidding. I love the guy.
If she had only been